Program, B.S. English. Course, 19th century novel. Topic, Character of Fitzwilliam Darcy in Pride and Prejudice. Prepared by, Dr. Shahryar Khan. Question. Write a detailed critical note on the character of Fitzwilliam Darcy in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Introduction. Pride and Prejudice is the only novel by Jane Austen in which the relationship between the hero and heroine is the central focus of the plot. The plot moves forward because of the elements of attraction and antagonism between Darcy and Elizabeth. Like Elizabeth, Darcy is a round character who goes through a transformation in the course of the narrative. He belongs to aristocracy and represents the traditional social order of 18th century England. However, Darcy is not a rigid person like other gentlemen of his class. He says that he falls in love with Elizabeth against all reason and logic. This love changes his worldview and he emerges as a different person at the end. This transformation becomes possible when he leaves behind his rank and status and accepts his individuality. Peter Sabor has remarked, Darcy's love for Elizabeth is a subversive force. It forces him to value an individual mind over a family pedigree. Point 1. When we first meet Darcy, he seems to be an ideal hero. An aristocratic man, tall, handsome and with an annual income of £10,000. But he ruins this good impression by his rude behavior. His manners are really poor. He believes that he has the right to behave in this way because of his class and status. Mrs. Bennet says he is one of those persons who fancy themselves very important and never open their mouths. He believes he has superiority of mind, wisdom, and understanding. His opinion of women are not commendable either. In the very first encounter, he passes a very harsh judgment on Elizabeth when he says, "She is tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me, and I am in no humor at present to give consequence to young ladies who are slighted by other men." Even when he falls in love, he is not ready to accept it. He talks about it as if something made him fall in love. He himself would not do such a thing. In his first proposal, he berates Elizabeth's family but still thinks that she would gladly accept his proposal. Marvin Mudrick comments on Darcy's behavior in these words. Darcy is a man of stiff integrity. His problem is that his integrity is wrapped in a shell of unbending reserve. Darcy's character goes through a transformation in the course of the narrative. When he gets rid of pride and class superiority, his true self emerges. Point 2. After a number of his encounters with Elizabeth, his opinion about her begins to change. However, he is still conscious of his class superiority. He is not fully certain of his emotions. He does not like Elizabeth's family and he thinks that if he marries her, it would be beneath his status. He also persuades Charles Bingley to distance himself from Jane. When Elizabeth meets Wickham, he paints a very negative picture of Darcy. Apart from his initial comments about her, Elizabeth also has these two reasons to dislike him. When he proposes her for the first time, Darcy still has his class superiority and pride and Elizabeth is still prejudiced against him. A scene that was supposed to be romantic, turns into a bitter confrontation. Darcy tells her, "In vain have I struggled. It will not do. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you." While the second half of this quote is romantic, the first half implies that his love for her is against his better judgment. It seems his love is a weakness he has tried to conquer. Elizabeth tells him that she thinks of him as a proud man without regard for the feelings of others. The novel is narrated from the point of view of Elizabeth. We do not know what were the thoughts and feelings of Darcy after this confrontation. Soon after, Elizabeth receives a letter from him. In this letter, he defends his stance regarding Charles Bingley and Jane. He says that he thinks that Bennet family, especially Mrs. Bennet and three younger daughters, lack decorum. This is the reason that he advised Bingley not to get involved with Jane. He did it for the sake of his friendship with Bingley. Secondly, he reveals many facts about Mr. Wickham. He also tells her how he once tried to seduce Darcy's younger sister Georgiana for the sake of money. This shows that Darcy does care about Elizabeth's opinion of him and wants to come clean. The letter also marks the first signs of Darcy's transformation. Point 3. This transformation is complete when Darcy plays a very important role in Lydia Wickham episode. When Wickham had tried to seduce her sister, Darcy handled the matter secretly as it was a matter of his family's reputation. When Wickham does this to Lydia, Darcy realizes that his silence about Wickham has put Bennet family in danger. He says, "I am sorry, exceedingly sorry, that I did not let the world know Wickham's character." Darcy tracks down the couple in London and bribes Wickham to marry Lydia. This is the novel's primary evidence of his character shift. He does that secretly as he does not want Elizabeth to know about it. This also indicates the purity of his intentions. While proposing her the first time, he wanted Elizabeth to think he was doing her a favor. However, he does not want any credit now. This shows a significant change in his character. Elizabeth realizes that Darcy did not just pay money, he overcame his own prejudice against the vulgarity of her family to save them. As Tony Tanner notes, Darcy's rescue of Lydia is the moment he finally joins the community he once looked down upon. Point 4. The final episode that causes Elizabeth's prejudice to melt down is her visit to Darcy's estate Pemberley. Elizabeth is impressed by the natural and grand structure of the building. For the first time, it seems to her that these surroundings reflect the actual nature of its owner. Elizabeth's prejudice against Darcy is based upon his pride. She has this impression that he looks down on people who do not belong to his class. However, when she meets Darcy's housekeeper, Mrs. Reynolds, she comes to know about a different side of his personality. Mrs. Reynolds tells her, "He is the best landlord, and the best master, that ever lived, not like the wild young men nowadays, who think of nothing but themselves. There is not one of his tenants or servants but will give him a good name." Elizabeth is pleasantly surprised that Darcy treats his servants so well. Later, Darcy arrives there unexpectedly. His civil behavior also contributes to change the mind of Elizabeth. This episode reveals that Darcy's transformation is complete. He is no more that haughty and proud fellow that we encounter in the first pages of the novel. Conclusion. To conclude, we can say that Fitzwilliam Darcy is a complex character who goes through a transformation in the novel. Initially he appears as an inflexible and rigid person. He is too proud of his class and social status. As the story progresses, we come to know that he is an honorable man and a loyal friend who is motivated by good intentions. When he advises Bingley against Jane, he does that for the sake of his friendship. Later on, when he comes to know that Jane's feelings are genuine, he admits his mistake. In Lydia Wickham episode, he acts selflessly. He saves the reputation of Bennet family without taking any credit. He evolves to become a mild-mannered gentleman. Towards the end, he accepts this fact that dignity and quality of character do not depend upon class alone. E. M. Forster comments upon Darcy's transformation in these words. Darcy is a round character because he is capable of surprising us. We expect him to be a villain, but he reveals a capacity for profound kindness. Note: do not use these headings in your exams. These are just for your understanding.